Everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. Yes, I have a kitchen again. I am so beyond excited. I got a stove. You guys will be seeing that in another video. Finally, I have a fridge, I have kitchen, I have counters, I have cupboards, I have dishes, I have pots and pans, and I'm a happy girl. So, the dessert that I'm making for Thanksgiving this year is called pumpkin lasagna, or pumpkin dessert lasagna, I guess you would say, so people know it's a dessert. It is a sweet dish. So I'm going to pan this down and show you how to make this. It couldn't be easier to make, and oh my gosh, it is so delicious. Your family will absolutely love it. So let me get this camera turned down so you can watch what I'm doing, and then I'll talk to you in the background, because the food's better to look at than me any day. So, give me a second. Alright, hopefully y'all can see that. Let me get my knives out of the way. Okay, now you should be able to see my bowls. So, the first thing we need to do is make a crust for the bottom. Now the recipe calls for a flour crust. The recipe is 1 cup of flour, half a cup of butter, and half a cup of crushed nuts. And then you have to bake it. I don't like that. I mean, I have nothing against that. But I've got enough to bake on Thanksgiving that I don't need to add to it. So I want this totally no-bake dessert. So I'm going to use vanilla wafers. These are little minis. I've got my little chopper here that I got at Walmart some time ago. There's a few little pecan dust in there from the pecans that I chopped up. So they ain't gonna hurt nothing. You can stick a few of these in here. And it's mandatory you snack on one. So before I get this going and making noise, let me do you a quick rundown on the ingredient list. The topping I'm going to do is vanilla wafers and melted butter. It's probably going to be, oh, I don't know, 1.5 cups, 2 cups of milk wafers, a stick of butter. For the cheesecake layer, you're going to need 8 ounces of cream cheese, softened, 1 cup of powdered sugar, and 1 cup of whipped topping. The pumpkin layer is 2.5 cups of milk, 3 small packages of vanilla instant pudding mix, a 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. So give me just a second, let me get these pulsed up. And I've got the butter right here melted, and we're going to get this in the pan and make the crust. Well, of course it's not going to cooperate when it's on camera, right? I could say this never happens, but apparently it does. So let's do a reset, y'all. Put a few cookies in here. I guess we'll do a fewer at a time. You can also put this in a Ziploc bag with a rolling pin. For some reason my blade is not going down, and I don't know why. Behave. Got it? And I'm just going to put these right into the pan they're going to go in. Yeah, that was smart, right? Those of y'all that think that you make stupid mistakes in the kitchen, you're not alone. We all do. All of us. Even the most famous chefs in the world will tell you things don't always go right in the kitchen. So, you just roll with it. Give me just a second. I'm going to get the rest of these crushed up, and I'll be back in just a minute, okay? Okay. Got all those chopped up, so move that over there. This is, I don't know, just a decent crust across the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this melted butter in here. Yes, you could do this with a fork, but why? Mix it all around. I want to get a good coating on it. I'm going to pat this down. And one of the good things about a glass pan is you can see where you're high and where you're low. So, now, you can see this little mess right here? I could technically leave that, but one of the great things about this is being able to see all of the layers when you take this out. So I'm just going to run my thumb across here and get the worst of it off. I'm not going to go crazy with it, but there's your crust. In just a second, let me wash my hands. Okay, so there's your crust. Now we're going to start on the cream cheese layer. So what you're going to do, you take one packet, 8-ounce pack of cream cheese. Soften, make sure it's softened or this ain't going to work. And as you can see, this is pretty soft. It's sticking to the package. Oh, that goodness out of there, you guys. Because who doesn't love cream cheese, right? Now I gotta get a new spoon. Crap. What did I do that for? Okay, 1 8-ounce pack of cream cheese. You need 1 cup of powdered sugar, which I happen to have right here. A handy dandy measuring cup. I love this measuring cups, you guys. I got these at Walmart, believe it or not. And they come with oddball sizes too, not just your standards, which I really love. You ever got one and you're like, well, I guess I can guess what a 1/3 is, or what a 1/4 is, or what an 1/8 is. I really love them. Make sure I grab the right one. And these actually go all the way up to a 2 cup. So this is 1, this is 3/4, 1 1/2, 1 3/4, 2 cups. And then the smaller sizes go down as well, you guys. You can see them there. Let's see. 1/8 of a cup, 1/4 cup, 1/3 of a cup, 1/2 cup, 3/4. And I love that there's the 1 and 2 and 3, and I can get big stuff. So I need a cup of powdered sugar. You guys, when you measure stuff for baking, you want to fill it up. I'm going to push this back to fill in the whole thing. Run the back of a knife across it. And mess it up because you didn't do it right. Okay, because I'm talking to y'all. So, 1 cup. I'm going to set that aside. And I need 1 cup of whipped topping or Cool Whip. I just use the store brand. I think it's just fine. You could also do this with homemade whipped cream if you wanted to. But I personally, and I know a lot of people are going to, oh my gosh, that's sacrilegious. I love Cool Whip. Seriously. Yeah, I could eat this stuff just pick it up and eat it. It is so good. I know, it's not the good. It's not homemade whipped cream. It's got saturated oils. It's got da-da-da-da. I know. But doesn't make it any less good. So, I'm going to put this together, mix this up, and this is kind of loud, so I'm going to do this off camera, and I will be right back with you once I get it all blended. Okay, so I got everything mixed. That out of your way. I'm going to take some of this, really about half. Switch sides for you. Take about half of this. It is nice and thick. And I probably should have put the crust in and chilled it really well, but I didn't, so it would be a little less tempted to move around on me. But that's okay. I'm a firm believer in my hands. I know you guys, they make spatulas and they make this and they make that, and I get it. But I wash my hands constantly, and I just have more control when I use my hands, and I'm not afraid of it. Now, some of this will mix into the crust, which is what I want. It's intentional, you guys, because it's going to help bind that crust a little bit more. But the goal is get a little bit of this cream cheese in every bite. And I know there are pastry chefs out there that are screaming at the moment that are, it's not level, it's not beautiful. I don't care. It's going to taste delicious. And that's what matters to me. But like I said, you can absolutely chill this crust. Really good, like almost frozen. And it will hold together for you. You'll be able to spread this a little easier, but it's all good to me. Rinse my hands. Most of y'all know when I first started my channel, I had said then that, you know, I'm not by any means a fancy cook. I'm just not. So, just kind of the way it is. I'm going to set this in the fridge, though. This does need to chill. I'm going to put it in the freezer because it's got to chill before I put the pumpkin layer on. So while I make the pumpkin layer, I'm going to throw this in the freezer. Okay. We're going to set this aside. And we're going to bring over the next bowl. So now I need to rinse my beaters off. Y'all give me just a second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So now we're going to move on. Oops. Y'all didn't hear that, right? Y'all didn't see that. So now we're going to move on to this one. What you're going to need are 3 boxes of vanilla instant pudding mix. These are little small boxes. There's 3 of them. Dump them in your bowl. This really is a really good dessert. It looks pretty when it's served, and it tastes delicious. It is so good. And one of the things I really like about it is that it's a little bit lighter. I mean, it's rich, don't get me wrong. It's the cream cheese and all that, it's rich. But I like kind of having a cold dessert too, because it's, you know, you've just gotten done with all this heavy food and dinner, and holy cow, right? To have something a little bit lighter is pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to add the milk. Now, the milk is 2.5 cups. And we're going to mix this in until it's combined. we're going to add the pumpkin. And you guys, I've actually found that in a lot of recipes like this, unless I'm doing a savory dish, I actually prefer the canned pumpkin to fresh. I know it sounds crazy, but I just think it's a better consistency, a better consistency. Add the pumpkin and the cinnamon. These are so cool. These are the spoons that come in the set. And you guys, these things are cheap. They're like less than $6 for the set. Seriously. But they have, I love it. How many times does somebody tell you put a dash of this or a pinch of that? Look, a pinch, a dash, quarter teaspoon, half teaspoon, full, 1.5, 2 teaspoons, and a tablespoon. So you got lots of choices. And the cinnamon it calls for is 1 teaspoon. So 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And we're just going to mix this all together until it is thoroughly mixed. So, now I need that bottom layer to set in the fridge to get cool, or in the freezer to get cool. So I'm going to let it sit for about another 10 minutes or so. And I'm going to leave this on the counter to stay at room temperature. And then I'll be back and we'll finish putting all this together. So I'll see y'all in a bit. Okay, it's been a few minutes. So, I'm going to take some of this. This is the good stuff, you guys. And I'm going to make a layer of this. And as you can see, chilling the cream cheese layer real well makes it easier for me to spread this. I should have done it with the crust as well, but I didn't. And I really want a decent layer of this because it is so good. All the way to the sides. And then, can y'all guess what comes next? The rest of the cream cheese. It's a little thick, you guys. It's a little cool in my house. So, we're going to do the 30-second zap. Don't do this long, you guys, seriously, because you don't want to cook the cream cheese. I just want to soften it just a little bit so it'll spread easier for me. It's a little cool in my house. It won't be once I get that bird in the oven, but let's see where that put us. Much better. was actually 14 seconds. So, didn't take long. And you can see how much softer and easier this is going to be to work with. So, we're going to spread this layer. And this layer is super rich, you guys. Now, if you want to do this in a 9 by 13, if you've got a big family, you would need to double this recipe or just do 2 layers. Either or. But I love the layered look when you get it out and serve it. All right. Rinse this real quick. It's gotten kind of thick on there. Then you're going to put, you guessed it, another layer of the pumpkin. If you like pumpkin pie and you like cheesecake, you will love this dessert. If you don't like those 2 things, this is probably not for you. Now, can y'all guess what the top layer calls for? And I want the top layer to stay nice and white, so I'm going to rinse this again. Make sure I get all of the pumpkin off of here. You guessed it. The remainder of the Cool Whip, you guys. And I love the Cool Whip bowls when you're doing Thanksgiving and you're doing big, because stuff like this, we're using a lot of Cool Whip. These are great for leftovers. Just store in leftovers, and then when you heat the leftovers and you're done with them, you just toss them. So, I'm going to gently spread this around, because like I said, I want to try to keep the top white. I don't always succeed, but I try. So, I'm just going to clean the edge up just a little bit. And the final piece to all of this goodness is just some chopped pecans that I did in my little food chopper thing. It's just kind of a rough chop, and you can put as much of this or as little as you like. And this has to chill. You guys, this needs to chill solid. So I put this in the freezer for about 30-40 minutes. I don't want it to freeze. I just want it to get good and chilled. and then I'll move it to the fridge and it'll stay that way. And when that's all done here in about another hour and a half, I'll bring you back and slice off a piece of this for you. So there you go, and you guys can see the different layers in there. It's so pretty. I will be back. Hey y'all, I'm back. It's actually the next day. I decided to leave this and save it for when Andy's here. So I'm going to point the camera down here in just a second. I will show you the dessert. We're going to cut a slice off of this, and I'm going to let Andy taste it for you. He can tell you what he thinks. So, just a second. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And you can see the layers. It's how it gets its name, lasagna. So, I'm going to Andy a piece of this, and he's going to taste it for you. This will actually be better chilled overnight. Frozen is almost frozen is ideal because the layers will stick together more when you cut into it. But this stuff is like beyond yummy. I'm cutting through the cookie layer, which is almost frozen, so. And being the first slice, I should have cut one of these out of here for y'all already, but I didn't, so. He ain't going to get a pretty piece. He's just going to get a piece. You don't care, do you?
It ain't got to be pretty good.
Okay. So. Like I said, the bottom is just about frozen. Sorry, y'all. I had a minor misfeed for some reason. It did not want to come out of the pan, which is crazy. But it made a mess, but I guarantee you it's going to taste good. So I'm going to turn this over to Andy and let him taste it for you.
It looks good, y'all. That's good. Y'all talk to her while I eat.
So, it's official. He likes it. It's kind of, if I had to guess, it's kind of a cross between a pumpkin pie and a pudding. I mean, it eats like a pudding, but it tastes like a pumpkin pie. It is really delicious, so you guys try it. I think you'll like it. I know B-Lady made one, and her family loved it. So, you guys give it a try, and I will see y'all on the next video. Bye, guys.